off.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Bills Mafia? Scott coming at you from 24/7 Buff Fandemonium with this 7th season, 10th episode of the K-Gun Report. We have a very special guest joining us today. I'm not going to wait for the surprise. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 5-year NFL defensive lineman for the Bills, 5 years for the Broncos. Mike Lodish is joining us, guys. We're pretty excited to talk to him about this Buffalo Bills defensive look. Totally different scheme, totally different coaches. Might as well bring in the professional. We'll talk about that. Obviously, we want and encourage your questions to come on in. Ask Mr. Lodish anything you want, and we'll get the show started. See you in a minute. All right. Love that intro,
Where did
Jared.
you guys get those videos?
Jared did the hard work. He got the videos. But I recall last time you were on the show, Lodi, Jared said to call you Lodi. Is that all right?
Lodi, yeah.
All right. He said your first sack was against Cunningham, correct?
Cunningham. That was my very first one ever.
And you can tell, by the way.
That was my. I'm eating a protein bar. Sorry, it's my dinner.
That's all right.
All right. I'm drafted in the 10th round. I'm third team going into training camp. I end up starting for Bruce at left defensive tackle, where I played at UCLA in a 3-4. And I know we're going to talk 3-4, 4-3 today. And so I was able to perform based on what the 3-4 required back then of a defensive lineman. It was more of a reading scheme. It wasn't a penetrating scheme, but you still had to control the line of scrimmage and push the line too, right? And I wasn't supposed to make it. It was everything in my life to make the Bills. I didn't realize what the Bills meant to me, though, either. I just realized what saying you play in the NFL meant.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the greatest thing for me, is to call my mom and say I made it. But when I got in that year, if I remember that correctly, I had a blue long sleeve like neoprene, not neoprene, but real tight spandex because it was cold. And Bruce came up to me and gave me love because I got my first sack. But then he also looked at me and said, "We don't wear sleeves here, rookie." I said, "Okay." Ever since then, it was over. Like I never wore a sleeve again. I was like, "There's no way I can go in the locker room and have Bruce Smith not respect me." So there's a lot of great moments in that first year. So
I was gonna say I don't remember seeing you ever wearing sleeves, so that was a rare moment caught.
Well, they were navy blue, and I remember that. It actually was very beneficial on the AstroTurf, so you didn't get turf burns.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But sorry, that's part of being a D lineman in the early '90s. You're gonna get turf burns.
Yeah, and the turf was a little different then. It was
Perfect.
With cement underneath it.
Terrible. Philadelphia was the worst. I mean, people would blow their knees out in those seams where the bases were.
Mm-hmm.
It was really bad. Really bad.
Yeah. Now they're trying to take extra care. And
What do you got on the docket tonight, boys?
Oh, we're gonna talk some defense. We got the professional here with us today, and
Come on. Where is he?
Where is he? Well, Bills fans, the K-Gun Report. We go live every Tuesday, 8:30. This is our 10th episode. We got two-time Super Bowl champion, former Buffalo Bill, Bronco, Michael Lodish joining us. We're going to talk 4-3-3-4. There's been a lot of question. Obviously, with the firing of McDermott, we knew something big was going to happen. I think it was something that had to happen because they wanted to change the defense significantly. So we're now a 3-4 defense, and we've talked about it in previous shows, but we're going to break it down for you a little bit today, what we expect from the guys that are already there, what we expect from the guys that they're bringing in. Mm-hmm. And obviously we're going to throw out the comments, get them. If you guys got comments and questions for Lodi, fire away. We'll get them answered. I do have I don't know if Jared told you, Lodi, I do have a quick question, like fire questions at you kind of segment.
Sure. Let's go.
But we're going to give you time to answer and elaborate if you want, because I hate rushing anybody. We'll start right off with the fans. We like to get those guys involved early. Jamie Norson says, "What's up, Mafia?"
What's up, Jamie?
John says, "Good evening, everyone."
JJ, we'll call him JJ.
Good evening, sir.
Doug Augie, happy Tuesday. Time to K-Gun and chill. Ellen Lartz joins us, the lovely Ellen Lartz. What's up, everyone? Let's get cracking as we get ready for Bills football season 2026.
That's a great picture, too. That's Kent Hall and Jim Kelly.
Yeah, Ellen she's come to the Rager. We have a fundraiser every year in September, regular season Rager. We get Mark Maddox involved in his Help One charity. And Ellen and fam come out every year and celebrate with us. And she tells the stories because she was part of the 90s Bills going to parties and stuff. She was involved quite a bit.
But we got that's private stuff.
Yeah, right. Buffalo Spartan. That's
I'm just gonna tell you this. We sure knew how to party. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't know how to drink shots of Rumplemints in Buffalo in the early 90s? I mean, it was. Even now, when I go to the games, like shots, who's got shots? I'm like, no, I'm 58 years old. I don't need to do shots anymore. I'm done doing shots. My liver can't handle it.
Right? Do you water it down at all? Or you're just done.
I succumb to the pressure and I do it.
Does it kick you back? Any memories?
Oh yeah, a lot of it. I didn't care back when I was coming up. When I was in Buffalo, the drink was Goldschlager or Rumplemints. Ooh. And I have one story to tell you about my buddy, so I can say this. It's not about anybody on the team. We went to Jim's house, and he had 14 shots of Goldschlager, and he was green in the middle of the night, and we still stuck him on the airplane, and they packed him in the bathroom. This is back when they could get away with it before 9/11 and all that, where they could be a little bit more flexible with the so heaven forbid turbulence, and he flies up and breaks his neck in the bathroom. But he was puking the whole way home back to Chicago. Okay. So it was terrible for him.
Was that
was the drink? That was the drink back then. It was Rumplemints, which was 100 proof, right? Normally, what is whiskey, like 80 proof or something like that? And then Goldschlager was 107 proof per 1 ounce. With those little gold leaves. And it was liquor. It was like liqueur. It was sugary. It was awful. It was absolutely awful.
The problem with the Goldschlager is that it's thick too, so it doesn't really hit you right away. It kind of lingers for a while.
The sugar too, right? The hangover's terrible. And I've been there a couple times with it, but I can honestly say, never again. I've divorced Goldschlager permanently. I don't ever want to see it. Rumpelmans, I don't ever want to be around it. It's that bad.
I have to agree. I think definitely if someone offers that, look at it and say, been there, done that, I'm good.
Yeah. It's like Goldschlager, or it's like Jägermeister.
Jaeger.
Done with the Jaeger too.
Yep, those are the 20, early 30 drinks. That's
a shot of Jaeger and a beer. That's how you started the night off. And it was like, I don't know, Jesus. Next thing you know, you've had 4 drinks in a half hour and you're starting to get tuned up. And you're like, oh, I better just take it easy here.
You start asking around, who gave me that Goldschlager?
Right.
Chris Christian says, hey, let's go 24/7. Debbie Emerton says, hey, Mafia, go Bills. Dr. Bruce is in the house. Dr. Bruce says, oh, we're paused here. Go Bills. I think that's
a shout out to my girl Therese, the fan. I got one of these, right? These are badass. These are killer. I mean, I'm giving a shout out to the girls at the Buffalo Mafia, the Water Buffalo Club.
The Water Buffalo.
Love them.
They keep the bald head warm.
Well, come on, is the pig's ass pork?
It's all good. It's all good.
I mean, I actually don't like wearing hats, to be honest with you, because I run pretty hot. Like I run physically pretty hot. Like whenever I work out or do a Stairmaster routine for 45 minutes or go do yoga, I'm completely dripping through it. And I put puddles around me and in the yoga room. And I'm a sweater. My nickname's the Sprinkler at yoga.
Breathing out, scattered
going everywhere when you're moving. And, I got to promote this real quick on here for anybody listening. For a big bulldog type of person to go do yoga, you wouldn't think of it, but I've been doing it 4 years now, at least twice a week, and I try to go 3 times a week, and it's really changed my life. You talk about quality of life after football. If people want to understand that, I could barely bend over. I could barely pick up, like I go to the range and shoot bullets and I lost a bullet. I could barely bend over to pick that up. Now that I've done yoga for 4 years, I can touch my toes, wrap my feet or my toes with straight legs. I have no pain in my back. Once in a while, I get a little kinked out. I get a little thrown off, like a muscle spasm, and I need to get cracked back in and then put some ice on it. But my aging process through playing football has been very successful due to this yoga stuff. And I've always been a workout guy, and I've always tried to stay in shape. I guess that might be a vanity thing in some fashion. Not that I'm a good-looking guy or anything, but I don't want to become a blueberry either, right? I want to be healthy, and I want to be able, at 58 years old, be able to feel like I'm 35 and 30 and be able to not necessarily run around, but be attentive, cognitive, and all of that. I think all of that plays a role. But some of my brothers are struggling, and again, those were the warriors that, and when I played, I truly believe, and I'll stand by this, the generation right before my generation and my generation, and of course the building of it, the 60s and the 70s, that was just you beat the hell out of one another. But the 80s and 90s, that was, because now what you had is better food, you had better training, you had superior speed. It started to evolve even more, and guys like Leonard Smith, right? Killers in the bad and the safety. Steve Atwater, thank you very much. I mean, that man needs no introduction, right? You come across the middle and 27's on the field, you better be ready. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Now, you get guys like Eddie McCaffrey that got blown up every time you get crushed, but he'd stand up. I mean, just the stamina and the endurance. However, there came a cost to that.
Yep.
And the thing that really in 93 when I was in Buffalo is when we found out about CTE. And this isn't a conversation about CTE, but I'm just trying to introduce what I know internally to the fans and to people so they understand.
Yep.
And the biggest part of it is that the NFL, I'll just say, came to a conclusion that this discovery with this gentleman, this doctor from Nigeria that took Mike Webster's brain and found this tau protein issue, and I just know it as that. I don't know it in any other depth or any other physiological terminology, but I know that the brain, when you have a concussion, you're bruised, it's injured, right? Like you have a bruise on your arm or your leg, and what do you need to do? You need to let that heal. And that was what we didn't do. That was the one thing that I would say to myself, is that you guys hurt us purposely. Okay, outside of the neck and the joints and orthopedic, shut up or get the fuck out. Yep. Right? You're going to need, I have a hip replacement. You're going to need a new hip, a new knee. It's part of the game, and you would do it all over again, and I would do it all over again. But now that I know about concussions, the issue is that you weren't tough, or you weren't viewed as being tough, but you could come through and you could go, okay, I'm all right, I'm fine. You're not all right. And that's when you went back in and got multiple hits to the damaged area, and you might not have been reconcussed, like where you're goofy, right? You could have microconcussion.
Yep.
That's what caused the damage and the scarring, and the scarring is the tau protein, and that's what will alter your mood, because it's your frontal lobe, because you hit like this with your front in your face.
Yep.
So people asked if I coach football, I'd come and help them. I said, no, I'm not going to come, because the way I would coach the game and my defensive lineman would be technically sound. Because even today on the 3 technique, if a guy comes to reach you, boom, we're coming in. I'm hitting him with my forehead right here in the face. It's just going to happen. You have to, because you need to stalemate his charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would teach that. But then disengaging and running to the football, I would teach you to be not a battering ram and using your forehead, but we were taught to bow your neck. That's why in pictures back in the day, you'd always take a picture like this. Like, look how wide my neck is.
How thick that buck's neck. Yeah.
You look like just a dumbass meathead. We would do that. We'd like, oh, look at my shit. Like, so big, right? And but you thought that was cool, right? Your neck was this wide and you could crush people, right? But at the end of the day, you would have to take these guys. So now they're teaching them to tackle with their shoulders, and that can bash your head. You can get injured significantly that way too. So I would still continue to tell you how to like run up and come and attack somebody with the screws of your helmet, put it on their chin and just blow them up, right? And then we're coming like this, right? And that's football. And I think I would be teaching something that could disqualify somebody potentially.
Well, I think they've adapted some of the helmets for that, because the newer helmets do have like that little cushion spot up front. Have you ever seen that one where it's got like the cutout here?
Got like a
U
shape. Is that what that is? That's like an absorber.
Yes,
that's
I think
the
so.
Technology in the helmets. Yeah.
Yep.
But
so
you're right.
Perfect to your teaching.
They're teaching kids shoulder, and brain is one thing, and then shoulder's a neck injury. Which one do you want?
You get a neck injury. You can miss a tackle easy. Because if I teach you to tackle and square up, like come up and wrap up, you're centered to the tackler or to the running back, let's say, and I'm the tackler. You have a better shot to stop that person right there than if I come with half my body, right? So I don't know how to teach the game. I wouldn't know how to outside of like coming off the ball as a D lineman and defending run blocking schemes. After that, I don't know how to tell you to go tackle the ball carrier or go to the ball unless you just go like a bat out of hell and you come with vicious intent. That's essentially what you have to do. This is a game of football. We're barbarians in a sense. We're not barbarians where we're going to kill people, but you can die out there. You can become quadriplegic very easily.
Yep.
So there is significant risk, especially now with the way that you're supposed to tackle without using your head, and if you use your head properly, it was safe, but I remember I got concussed. I remember this. It was my second year. I started 9 games for the Bills. Jeff Wright got dislocated his patella, so he was out for almost 2 months. And I had a great year. And they re-signed me after that year to a 3-year deal. And we were playing Chicago. And I forget who Griffin was his name. Anyway, he was a 6'2", 6'3" running back. they're on the goal line, and I said, the hell with this. I'm going to swim the 3 technique, and I'm just going to penetrate real quick instead of reading because I want to make a stop. And it was a perfect. I swam him and came over and boom, I hit the guy. I saw stars immediately, but I dropped him right there. It was a huge hit, and everybody went crazy. And I was concussed. I was like, I saw stars, but then I came to like that fast, so I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a time when I can remember I was truly concussed, probably not knocked out, not like we call the Coke can, like you see the guy holding the Coke, where he's in rigor mortis, and like like fun. Some of my buddies, I'll always be laughing. Oh, he got knocked out. There'd be a few more colorful adjectives in there, but and it was like, oh yeah, see, holding the Coke can right there, and it's just so funny.
Well, it's just like Tua throwing gang signs. Yeah, that's.
Well, I don't know. There were some gangsters I played with. I'm not gonna lie to you. There were some guys that I know sold ounces of cocaine. I can tell you that. Like,
for sure,
because that's all they had. They were dealing drugs, and they found football, and football saved their life.
Right.
So
there you go. Yep, team sport. Yeah. You own some. You earn your own respect, but then you're held accountable by the people around you, and so
held accountable when you walk through the door of the locker room.
Yeah,
there you go.
And I say this, it's very similar. I have a lot of friends that are in the special operations community in the military, and I'm talking about Tier 1 operators like Delta and SEAL Team 6. I have very good friends in both of those units, and the irony is that it's extremely similar to professional sports. They have a locker room where they have cages, right, where all their stuff is. They store all their stuff, and I have a locker that's like 5 feet wide or whatever, and that's my home, and I got all my stuff in there, my armor and everything, right? And then there's only one thing that really counts, and it's the respect of your teammates.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing that those guys hold, those special operators hold. If you go on target with one of them on a hit, and they have any sort of reservation about you, you're not going.
Yeah.
And just like in the locker room in football, and I'm not going to name any names because I think that would embarrass people, but I've seen it where I've been fortunate. They've respected me immensely, but you have to earn it. And I wasn't the best player in the locker room by far. Okay, I was a good, strong, average player that played a long time and deserves what I earned. But if you do not cut the mustard, they will talk about you right to your face, and they will humble you so hard that you'll want to be gone. They really will. And it's subtle. Now, today's day and age, the kids are a lot different. Okay. These dudes, the Josh Allen group and those kind of dudes, they're more into the diversity part of things. There was a little bit more, maybe not separation, but there was, it wasn't like it was in 1990. It wasn't like it is today. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get into any, it wasn't like people didn't like each other because it was racial wars. No, but it was, there was little cliques and little things, and, and I'm sure there's that now, but, and I'm looking forward to talking about their defense, but at the end of the day, I was pretty lucky, man. I played on world-class teams. I was world-class, and I was blessed because the humility that I sustained was immense, but I also knew that when it was my opportunity to take advantage of it, right? Whether it was 5 plays or 25 plays or 35 plays, just depends on what the scheme is and how the game's going, because everybody's got their own role. I was primarily a run stopper, so I pass rushed. The stats in the league on the internet are wrong. I've got like 13 and a half sacks. So I consider it like 1 1/8 per year or whatever.
So 8.5 was BS. I couldn't sort. I
didn't have long arms. I've got short arms. But I had tremendous strength, and I could take the weight room to the field athletically.
Yeah. I got a weight room question for you later on in the show.
Sure.
But yes, so today's show, guys, first, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our sponsors. Lodi, we actually have sponsors this year that are sponsoring a whole show.
Congratulations, you guys. Nice job.
You. So it's a beautiful thing. Otis and Lisa's is located in Phelps, New York, and Dirty Jack's as well, right in the middle of the Finger Lakes. Phelps, New York. 2 local favorites are bringing people together. At Otis and Lisa's, it's all about flavor, Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road around the corner, you step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout. Cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Otis, Andy and Lisa Mattoon. It's more than great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps and the Finger Lakes every day. Come for the food, stay for the people, be part of something special locally. Yeah, I actually coach youth football with Andy Mattoon, so he's a friend of mine, and he's a big bruiser, 6'5" guy, lineman. He put his helmet on people, and he's the same way. To teach these kids how to properly tackle. Back when I played in the 90s as a young kid, we were told to keep your head up, but don't lower your head, but keep your head up and use your face
up and bow your neck. Remember the bow picture?
Yeah,
bow your neck and bring your traps in there. That's why you wanted Idaho potatoes for traps.
Yep. And then you pull in and you wrap up and you tackle. That's how it was.
You drive through the person.
Yep. The Otis and Lisa's and Dirty Jack's, thank you for being a sponsor this year. Great pizza, great food, great drinks, all the above. So we're here to talk about defense.
Yep.
3-4 versus the 4-3. The Bills obviously changed their scheme completely this year. They went 3-4 under the defensive mind of Jim Leonhard, who came from Denver, as we all know. And I guess, Lodi, the question I have for you, in today's NFL with the passing the way it is, the screenplay that we're seeing constantly, and we're seeing more and more wide receiver screens. And it seems to be about 50% of the NFL is now 3-4 versus 4-3 with a couple hybrids in there, switching from 4-3 overs and all that good stuff. Switching for the 3-4, do you see that this is a benefit for the Buffalo Bills? And if so, is it something that more teams are going to start turning into, considering the type of offenses that are being run?
Well, so the beautiful thing about asking me that question is I played in both. So in Denver, it was a 4-3 where we played a shade 1 and a 3 technique offset, right? So, right, like you got me there in Denver. Let's say I'm on the center. The guy to my left would be in a 3 technique because I would be shaded opposite side of him. Then you'd have a D end on the outside on the right. You put him in a 5 technique if he was open, or maybe a 7 on the tight end. Just depends on what you're doing with your backers. Now, in my opinion, a 4-3 is better to stop the run because you can bring an 8th man in the box pretty easy, all right? The thing about a 3-4 is you only have 3 down linemen. So in a 3-4, and this is kind of contrary to what I was about because I was 275 pounds. You want to have where that nose tackle Lodish is, you want that guy to be a Ted Washington, 6'5" and 350. He's got to be an absolute beast, right? The beautiful thing about the 3-4, in my opinion, is that if your linebackers are athletic, you have one more athletic person in your front 7 than a down lineman. Now, it just depends on who you're playing too. If you're playing a team that runs Tiger, which was 2 tight ends in my world, we called it Tiger. 4-3 is going to be dominant, but a 3-4 is excellent. Now, you have to have the D lineman to play 3-4. And my concern about this 3-4 with Buffalo, I don't give a crap what coach you bring in. Okay, a good coach will put you in a position to win by putting you in the right scheme. That's the benefit of the coach, right? At this level, no coach is gonna necessarily improve your technique unless it's completely off, and he works with you as a man because you're a man and say, hey, I think maybe if you try this with your athletic ability, you might be successful. And then that player as a professional can perfect that, right? He'll take that in. But personally, they're both excellent defenses. The 3-4, though, your nose tackle has to be a beast. He's got to take 2 people all the time or they will gash you in a run. They will kill you. Because the benefit is that in a 3-4, when I played at Buffalo, I either had to shade or I had to go head up. And being head up as a 3-4 is brutal because you're not penetrating the A gap because it's called gap control. It's like two gapping, we call it, right? So two gap, hence the term two gap. You have to control the A gaps. That means that I have to control both of those. And if I got a center that's 325 and he's big as hell and I'm 280, 290 and I'm stronger than him, I'm still going to have a hard time seeing around him. And when they hit that hole, the linebacker's 3 yards off the line. So now what happens is you have guards that might be uncovered. And if they're excellent guards, right, they're Pro Bowl status and they can move, you create lanes potentially. Right? And then your 5 techniques have to dominate and you're going to play a 7. So it's all personnel driven. I don't know the Bills D-line personnel, but I can tell you the last 3 years, they didn't impress me as a dominant top 4 D-line to get you to the show. Because look, fellas, we got Josh Allen. I saw the stats with him and Kelly. He's got like a massive amount of running touchdowns, and Jim had 7 or 8, right? So do you understand that of those, I think it was like 39. Does he have, how many touchdowns does he have running? 39 or 40 or something? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know stats very well. But let's say it's 40 just for easy math, right? 40 times, let's say 20 he got blasted to get in. He's going to keep getting hit. It's going to wear on him. He's Superman right now because he's young and he's strong and he's not beat up yet, but it's going to happen. Okay. And that's what scares me. And so our defense, we lost the Super Bowls because our defense didn't dominate. The 4 Super Bowls that we're in, the first one, the third quarter is is a big reason why we lost. If you look at the time of possession in the third quarter against Hostetler in 91 in January, he owned us for 12 minutes out of 15.
Yep.
And that team had, what do we have, 5 to 7 Yellow Jackets, right? Hall of Famers. Like, it's the greatest football. We beat Lawrence Taylor. We played Lawrence Taylor, right? And everybody says we should have won that. Then we went to Minnesota and got really just our asses handed to us by the Skins. They just dominated us. Andre threw his helmet. Squatty couldn't find his helmet in the beginning, and we were all fucked up, you know. So, am I allowed to swear on this play?
Yeah, it's past 9 o'clock. You're good.
Okay, fine. Excuse me, kids, if you're listening. I apologize. So,
we have a 9 o'clock rule. It's 9:02 loaded.
And then when you think about it, this has nothing with due to the 3-4, but I'm just giving some trivia here and some understanding of. So when we played Dallas, we were winning, if I remember correctly, at both halftimes.
Yeah.
But the two second halves combined, we gave up like 9 turnovers to Troy Aikman and an offense that has 10 unanimous Pro Bowlers on it. You're done, dude. I don't care what you say. You give them 9 extra chances, and we lost the game by 45 and 50 points. I mean, it was nasty.
Yep.
Right. But back to the 3-4. It can be very, very good. You got to have stud D linemen though. 3 studs, right? And your center guy's got to be Ted Washington. Big Ted. He was a perfect nose guard for the 3-4.
So Lodi, what they did this year is, I agree. Like for the draft, I was pushing towards one of these 6'5", 6'6", 325-pound hog mollies.
Yeah.
But I had the smoke, the signals blocked because Leonhard brings in a 3-4 defense where Denver's thrived in like the 6'1", 290 to 305 deep nose tackles, and that's exactly what they have there in Buffalo right now. Our only big guy. Go ahead.
Wait a second. Again, that's true. And Denver's defensive line last year was sick.
Yeah,
was
very
unbelievable, good. Right? And they were good size, but Denver's always been notoriously smaller on the D line. Hence, when I played there, the biggest guy we had on the D line was 305. You know, we were all 260 to 305, somewhere in there, right? But again, we were strong, and we were beasts, man. We were really, really strong. I mean, Ma'a Tanavasa would rep 150-pound dumbbells like this on the bench press like it was nothing. I'm doing 125s, 130s. I'm thinking I'm strong.
Right.
This kid rolls in. He's as big as I am, or the same size. We were very similar. He's a great guy. Strongest dude I've ever seen pound for pound. I mean, and then there was another big guy that we had. We call him Cheesy Poof. Price, Trevor Price.
Trevor
then
Price.
He went to then he went to the Ravens. He was a stud player. Okay. Then we had Alfred Williams, but when I was in Buffalo, Jeff and I were good nose guys. That was us 1 and 2. Of course, we had Bruce. I mean, you can't. That goes without saying. And then we had Phil. Phil, my second year. Phil was a stud now. Phil's an absolute stud. Absolute stud. And he's a great man and a good person, and everything about him is fantastic, right? Then we had linebackers. We had Shane Conlon, Daryl Talley, and Cornelius Bennett, right? I mean, we had Carlton Bailey, excellent player. We had Ray Bentley, excellent player with the Alice Cooper makeup. He wrote Darby the Dinosaur. He had wrote a children's book.
Yep.
And I got a funny story to tell you about Ray. He had a vasectomy and knocked his wife up again.
Oh, God.
We used to call him Iron Balls. So anyway.
There's a time frame you have to wait, and then,
He did. And he gave it an extra week, and he still – I said, we just go, damn, you're fertile myrtle, right? So – but anyway, I really think, both defenses are good. These hybrid defenses are interesting, though, because you have to play to the offense, right? If they come out with 4 wide receivers and a running back, you got to put skills in there. You got 2 D linemen, and you're running 5 linebackers and 4 DBs. You know what I mean? So I don't know those defenses. I don't pay attention to that. But just straight 7, 8 in the box, playing the run, 3-4, 4-3. I personally, I like the 4-3 better for my game.
Yeah.
I just liked it because I could control my A gap, and I had 1 gap to control, and it was being head up on a center with going against Kent Hall, and he's as fast as he is laterally. How about this guy, Dermonte Dawson? You guys, I'm going back now. These guys, Dermonte Dawson could reach a 3 technique.
Yeah.
He was that fast.
Hall of Famer.
Like you had to back off the ball, and you had to just relax your breathing and look at the screws of his helmet. And when they moved, you had to move simultaneously with them.
Right.
It was very difficult. So 3-4, unless you're big and you come off and you're so big you can just you can grab people. I didn't have that luxury. I had to be technically proficient every round, every play, or I was getting crushed. So I personally, my favorite is the 4-3 because it gives me some more freedoms.
Yeah.
As an individual player, and I'm not too gapping.
So 4-3 would be front, middle, and back could be even and average all together and be successful. Where 3-4, you really have to have somebody in the middle to set the tone for everything.
Well, I know I'm kind of stating that, but look, you have to have professionals at every position.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't have slouches. If you people, if in the Bills Mafia, if we're going to start talking about we want to win a Super Bowl, you need a dominant front 7.
Mm-hmm.
Dominant front 7. And I'm not talking about 3 games, 6 games. I'm talking about consistently you're in the top 8 teams with, you're number 7, number 4, you're inching up. You're seeing where you're deficient and you're getting better. Okay. And that's personnel. And the thing that we had in Denver was, and I'm going to brag about myself and other backups, but we had dudes that should be considered starters potentially in other teams, but for whatever political reasons you weren't. We were that good. We had depth. Yeah, and the Buffalo, I don't see the depth in defense. And if you want to win a game and you want your big studs to keep moving and they're not running them and conditioning them and getting them in shape and all, and it's more of them having to do it as men and be ready because that's your job. Well, you need a rotation of 7.
Yeah.
3 on, 4 on, 1 off. The starter goes a series or 2 series, you go another series.
Right.
Starter goes 2 series, you go a series. And then if the series is long, you're rotating in the series. Okay. And you have to have production, and you have to have stinginess. And the other critical thing on defense, and everybody talks about it, but I'm going to re-emphasize this: taking the ball away.
Yeah.
We have to take the ball away. You have to get off the field. If you have a defense that can play 60 plays a game, 65 plays a game or less, you're winning a lot of football games. And your offense is out 75 to 85 plays, 82 plays, you're gonna win a lot of games. And you're not. And the other stat is the plus-minus ratio, takeaway, giveaway.
Right.
And look, everybody gives up the ball, and people are gonna pick the ball off. But 3-4 defense, you got to have a stud in the middle, and you got to have stud DNs. But you have to have depth in linebackers, because now you're a dominant linebacker position. Your D line, I think we dressed 6 or 7. We did backups. We were too deep. That was about it. You get one guy down, and now you need a utility guy that can do both.
Yep.
I could play both, but going up against a guy named like Big Cat Williams in Chicago back in the day, 6'7". I'm 6'2.5", 6'3", stretched out, my back cracked. Like he's got 4 inches. I'm going like this to him. It's like I could play the run against him, but I wouldn't be effective against the pass. I just don't have the limbs for it,
Right.
And that's what Bruce had. He had really long arms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was perfect at everything. He was the definition of defensive lineman in the Webster's dictionary.
Mm.
Him and Reggie White. Those are my 2 favorite D linemen of all time. Period.
Oh, they did.
So.
They did it many years, just very consistent. Going off what you're saying about turnovers, Lodi. I know 4-3, 3-4. Sometimes it's opportunistic with defensive backs. Sometimes it's the linebackers being able to fill a hole, maybe get in congestion and pop the ball out. Do you find that any type of defense is easier to disguise and create turnovers between the 4-3 and 3-4, or is it all pretty the same?
Well, I think these hybrid defenses that you see with all these skilled guys and maybe a couple D linemen, they may have a better opportunity to do that, right? But let me just tell you, and this is coming humbly from me, I don't know everything, but I spent a lot of I played over 200 games.
Yeah.
Like they say, I played 166. I missed 2 games in my career. I missed 1 game in Buffalo, and I missed 1 game in Denver. 2 games. So if you did 11 times 16, or actually 11, times,
76.
not 11, but if you did 9 times 16 and then 2 times 15, because I missed 2 games, right? Did that math, and then all the preseason games and all the postseason games, I played in over 200 games. Right.
Yeah. No,
here's the bottom.
Possibility is availability, and I saw your thing. Lots of games.
Here's the bottom line. Bottom line is players play, and big players play in big games. Okay. Yeah. And you create your turnovers by the way you play the game, the way you hit, the way you and now this is where the coaches can help you. I'm teaching you how to disguise during that week in practice, and let's figure it out, and maybe we can get lucky here, but you have to have an attitude. And if you have an attitude, which I think a lot of defensive players do, because they're a different mindset on defense and offense, you have to be more controlled, more cerebral. I'm not going to say that the old linemen are smarter, but there was a lot more old linemen reading 3.5-inch thick books than there were D linemen that were just looking at pictures in magazines, right? So yeah, right, exactly. So at the end of the day, you have to have a team, a group of guys that want to go out there and just dominate you, right? Ripping the ball out, tackling and ripping the ball out, clubbing, coming over the top, tomahawking quarterbacks to swat the ball out. Just different techniques. And that has nothing to do with the 3-4 or 4-3.
Right.
That just has to do with you as a football player and how you're also being coached. That can influence that as well, too. I hope that makes sense.
That makes sense. I mean,
No,
stripping a ball and going after the ball and attacking the ball, it doesn't matter what defense you're running. You have that instinct to find the ball and swat it out.
That's right.
Lodi, you got some people getting pumped. Lodish getting amped up.
My man Nacho.
Nacho. All right, boy. you're speaking military earlier. We got my friend Lou RQ who lives in Colorado. He's a former military vet. Is a military vet, former military. I'm still shooting.
Lou, thank you for the service, brother.
I'm still shooting blanks. Never checked. Oh well.
Well, that's personal now. I don't need to know that. Okay. You walked into that one, big fella.
You sure did. I do want to hit up our sponsors real quick. We'll come back, Lodi, and we're gonna hit you up on a bunch of rapid questions, but we're gonna let you elaborate.
Right in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York. Two local favorites are bringing people together. At Ellis and Lisa, it's all about flavor. Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road, step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout. Cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Andy and Lisa Mattoon, it's more than great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps every day. Come for the food, stay for the people, be part of something local.
Yes, and if you recognize that voice, that is Jared's voice. Good job, Jerry. I also want to throw this out there. Our other sponsor, Trails End. There's a place in Dresden where the air smells like Sunday morning. Fresh bread, sizzling bacon, and coffee that could wake you with a smile. At Trails End Restaurant, comfort food isn't just a menu item, it's a promise. Hearty home-style meals made from fresh quality ingredients. Pies made that very morning, and folks who greet you like family, even if it's your first time through the door. Stop by Trails End Restaurant today, Route 14, Main Street, Dresden, because sometimes the best trails lead you home. Jared actually sent me a jealous picture the other day. He stopped there and had their burrito. We talk about the burrito all the time, but they have more than just that, right, Jared?
They do. They have great menu there.
All right. So let's get fans. If you have questions for Lodi, fire away. But I got a bunch of fun ones. I got a few easy ones, Lodi, for you. But first of all, when it comes to wings, do you like dry rub or sauce?
Sauce.
Okay. And are you a ranch, a blue cheese, or something else?
Ask a question like that. Blue cheese.
Here's a follow-up.
Put him in his place.
Put him in my place. Does Denver have a place?
I had ranch one time, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Ranch is one of the greatest condiments ever invented by God. Right? True buttermilk ranch, not the bullshit you buy it in the supermarket with the Hidden Valley, with all the molasses in it and all the crap. Right? I'm talking the real buttermilk ranch made from scratch. There's nothing like good crumbled blue cheese, creamy blue cheese with a hot wing. The big drumstick part where you just bite the whole thing and rip it off like that.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
And you eat the cartilage and everything. It's great.
Yep. Chewing on that for a minute. There you go.
I swallow that. I don't chew much.
All right. So that was the wing question.
Yep.
I have a personal one. I know you're a very motivated guy. Your head first kind of move forward, get the ball.
Get
the ball. My question for you, Lodi, is could you tell, it's an obvious question, but could you tell when you got into the head of a defensive player, what did that look like in the NFL?
Defensive player or offensive player?
Offensive lineman that you've been fighting hour, you've been fighting play by play. What was the one thing you're looking for that you're like, I got this guy beat for the rest of this afternoon?
Honestly, I'm going to be very honest with you. I try not to lie to anybody. Okay. You didn't want to talk to people very much. And the reason was it was a strategic move for me. I wasn't 6'5" and 350 like Ted Washington. I was 6'2" and a half, 6'3", 275, 280 pounds, strong and fast and whatever. But if I pissed these guys off or talked some smack to them, I wasn't Bruce Smith. Now, Bruce, I'll just deflect this to Bruce. Bruce, I'm not going to tell you who he said it to because I know exactly who it is. And I've heard it more than once. But Bruce was so good that he could tell you he's going to beat you right now. Jared, I'm gonna beat you right now for a sack because it's 3rd and 18, and I already know your game plan, and you're just like, like he could get in your head. Whereas guys would talk to me, I didn't do the talking as much because I was an average player, right? I was a good average player. So I could be replaced at any time, right? So what I did was when I made plays, I tended to just stare at you
Yeah.
right? And go, don't underestimate this. Don't underestimate this. It's 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That was the respect that I got. It's called being a motor guy. So my motor was always going, right? That's what helped me to be a professional football player. I didn't have the skill that Bruce Smith had or Phil Hansen had. I had the skill to do X, and I was good at that, and I got it in my head that was what I was supposed to do, and the team rallied around me as, okay, this is Lodish's spot, this is Jeff Wright's spot, this is what we expect from Bruce, and they put those puzzles pieces together and they build a defense, right? And so back to your defensive question, look, I didn't see who they drafted. I didn't pay attention to that either. I know I'm not a podcaster, and I'm not a color analyst, so I'm not a hip on all the stats and all the personnel. But if they don't get a dominant defense, there's no Super Bowl for anybody in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Look, I don't give a shit what you have. And look, you got Cookie and you got Josh. Big deal. You better have 2 stud wide receivers and a tight end out there too, and your O-line better be studs too. The whole team's got to be studs if you want to win the Super Bowl. And if you let's go to this 4-3 defense that he brought from Denver last year, right? With the stud defense they had, and they brought him over, right? I think that's what you said. Is that who we got? So their D coordinator came to Buffalo as a D coordinator or whatever. So that's great, but can we compare the personnel at Denver, man for man, to the personnel at Buffalo? And if you have something similar, then he's going to help. He's going to put the guys in the positions to be successful. Now, 90% of it is the work on the field, is executing the play. But that 10% or 15 or 20% that we consider coaching, and the coaches may go, what do you mean? It's more like 75, or whatever. It's fine. Do your 20% or whatever, but that 20%'s got to be 100%, right?
Yeah.
And you got to you got to dissect this by like a chess match, and that's what I'm counting on you to do. I'll get in there and get dirty for you for 65 plays, but put me in a damn position to be successful. And I hate to use this analogy, but don't pour gasoline on my back, if you know what I mean, in the wind. There's another word for it, but I'm just going to use gasoline. Like you have to go to the bathroom, right? So I don't believe in that. I don't want any of that and that way you'll respect your coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the players respect their coaches, because I don't give a shit what anybody says. The cheapest guy in there is making $700,000. Okay, $500,000-$600,000 now. That's a free agent that doesn't get a signing bonus. That makes it all 17 weeks. Yeah. Right on the 53s. I think what's the minimum salary, like $650 or something like that now, or something crazy, right?
It's up there.
It's up there. And you know what I played for? $65,000 was my salary in 1990, with an $11,000 signing bonus and a $25,000 roster bonus. So, but I'm not complaining because I went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I got to see Whitney Houston sing the national anthem. And so anyway, but Buffalo, look, be optimistic, but be realistic too. If we can get a defense and they can scheme it and we start getting some guys, get to the quarterback and strip that ball and give Josh another opportunity in the offense to keep working their magic, that's another thing. But the McDermott thing, I don't know, man. I think he was pretty successful. I just didn't like the defenses that were out there.
Mm-hmm.
We got dominated by Joe Burrows. I was at the game when it snowed. It was beautiful 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we got dominated again. But again, injuries too. That goes with the depth. That's where when Jeff went down, what was our record the first 9 games of the 91 fall season? Were we like 7-2 or something like that? Because usually what we did was we would say to ourselves, 4 games in 4 quarters is 16. We could go 3-1 and we'd get home field advantage.
Mm.
So you could lose a game a quarter. So you could go 12-4 or 13-3, and you're pretty much guaranteed a bye week back then because 2 teams got a bye week.
Yep.
So what was our record? Did you guys pull it up by any chance?
Jared, you look like you're looking at something.
I'm trying to.
So we got a
What-
question while Jared looks up the record.
Yep.
I got one from Nate Nacho. Lodish, who would have been your dream defensive coordinator or head coach to play for, past or present?
Well, I love Marv and I love Mike Shanahan, for the record. But Bill Belichick. End of
Ooh.
story.
Okay.
Or
Yep.
Bill Walsh. But
There you
Bill Walsh wasn't, he was an offensive minded guy. Bill
I
Belichick
definitely see the
all day long.
Belichick. Yeah,
All
because
day
he was a
long.
guy that put you guys in. He put players in the right. You didn't have to be the
He
best
beat us
player.
in 90.
Yeah.
He was the D
Yep.
coordinator for the tuna.
A lot of fans don't know that. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why I have an extra hatred for Belichick as a Bills fan,
Oh.
because it's not just the Patriots.
Oh, no.
He's the defensive coordinator that stifled that K-Gun offense in the Buffalo Bills and
He
the
is
Super Bowl
legit.
25.
He's legit. He is. I would say there's many, like for me personally, there's 2 picks in the draft out of the gate, and it's real easy. It's Sweetness and LT, right? 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, 1 and 2, either way, right?
Right.
Then the next ones are like Bruce and Reggie. You know, that caliber. I mean, Bruce is top 5 of all time, all day long.
Yep.
I mean, I keep bragging about him, but I sat next to him for 5 years in the locker room. But who would be my dream D coordinator, head coach? Bill Belichick.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
That answer.
Look, he turned New England around when they had nothing. Granted, he had Brady, but to me, Brady's not the GOAT. Even though he went to 10, and I'll give him that respect, and he won 7, and no one's won anymore, he's like in the top 3 for me, okay? Elway's the best quarterback ever to play the game as a true, in his prime, quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He could run and he could pass accurately. Now, Joe Montana's right there, him and Joe. Then you got Brady. And then, there's, if you can give me 5, I'll put 5 in there. But Brady's in the top 5 for sure. Absolutely. But I don't think he's the GOAT, man. I really don't. And I'm not saying that because I'm jealous that he beat my record or he's beat our ass a bunch of times. When I was playing for Buffalo, we dominated New England every year. But I think pure quarterback, I mean, he's a beautiful passer, but he can't run. And you hit him, it's over. He's done. You hit Jim Kelly, or you hit, and not that I brought Jim in the mix, but Elway, he was tough too.
Yep.
He took a beating just like Jimmy did. Dan Marino didn't take a beating because he had quick release.
Yep.
But I love Danny Marino. Great guy, but he's not top. He might be top 10, maybe top 15.
Ignore those knee braces. Dan Marino didn't get hit a lot.
I mean, look, that just goes to show you the quality of the game back then.
Yep.
The tackling, I could take your legs out and you damage your knees.
Yep. You were also allowed 2 steps.
Over time, you're going to get banged up, right?
Yep. For those of you who don't know what the record Lodi is talking about, he is a player that made 6 Super Bowls, and until Tom Brady broke that record.
Well, I'll clarify it for you, just because I don't mean to, throw a monkey wrench in your program, but I was the first person to have played in the game 6 times, like one player more. Don Beebe was the first to be on 6 teams. This is the absolute truth, and I'm going to clear this up, okay? It's real simple. Don was the first to be on 6 teams. But when I played in Denver, Don didn't dress for one of the games, for one of the 2 Green Bay games.
Gotcha.
So he was 4 in Buffalo with me and 2 in Green Bay, and I was in 2 in Denver. But I played in every single Super Bowl, at least 1 play on the defensive snap or more.
Gotcha.
And that was the trivia. And the reason I know that is, and now this is the only thing I'm going to brag about, guys. I got to show you this because my buddy one day he called me and he said, "Are you watching Jeopardy?" And I said, "No." Hold on.
Oh no, did they have a trivia question wrong?
No. It's even better than that. Let me put my glasses on because I can't see anymore.
Yeah, that's what I tell everybody. He was the first NFL player to play in 6 Super Bowls. Yep.
And so this I made Jeopardy. Okay, and I was the guy I think I held it for like 16 or 17 years, and the answer is, what is the Super Bowl? Okay, So if Alex Trebek says my name on TV, gentlemen, I'm just going to say that I think I've made it. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, that's worth saying. Okay. That, and so that's it. I held the record for being the first player ever to have played in 6 Super Bowls in the history of mankind. And then Brady, I play hockey with a bunch of guys, and they're like, "You think Brady's going to beat you? He's going to beat you." I was like, "Hell no, he's been to 3." I was like, "There's got to go 3 more. There's no way." Mm-hmm. He went 7 more, So that goes back to your question of Nacho's question or whoever it was. Who would be my D coordinator of all time? It's Bill Belichick.
There you go.
Bill's got, what, 6 rings or 7? No, because Brady went to Tampa and got a ring. So Belichick's got 6 maybe in New England, and then 2 or 2 maybe in the Giants. What has he got? 8 championships or something? He might have the most rings of any NFL personnel ever, right? Coach, player, owner, whatever. But Bill Belichick is the GOAT in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. I got to hit this. We're a minute over.
Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
They all love it when we go into overtime. So we will wrap it up a little bit, but I do have, your defensive lineman, Lodi. I got 2 questions myself. They should be quick for you. Jared, if you have any in the chamber, let them go after we say this. In your experience, your 10 years, Buffalo and Denver.
11.
What's that?
11
years.
5 and 6, not 5 and 5. I wasn't going to call you out, but you called yourself out. So.
Well, my math's off. You started in 1990 and ended in
like that.
It's all right. Well, thank you.
I love you. It's all good.
Who was the toughest offensive lineman?
I can answer that right now.
That you faced.
Right now that you told me, now he's played for the Vikings. He was an offensive guard.
Randall
McDaniel. Very best player. And I played against Randall McDaniel at Arizona State when I was at UCLA. I think he was a year or 2 older than me. I think he was 2 years old. I think he went in the 88 draft. Is that correct?
That sounds about right.
I think he went in the 88 draft. And he was a stud. He was a shot putter at ASU, and he could run a 4.6 40. He played 11 years, I think. Jared, look him up real quick. I think he played 11 years. And I think if he did play 11, I believe he was a unanimous Pro Bowler 11 straight years, or maybe 10. I think he didn't get his first year, but he was the guy, if you remember, had this weird leg that stuck out on YouTube him. You'll see his leg, and he had size 16 shoes. He was so strong and then him, Gary Zimmerman, and then Randall McDaniel. And then the center was from the Loudermilk. He was tough as nails. Vikings had a sick offensive line.
I tell you what, Lodi, Jared and I used to collect cards, and we watched in '89 when we first started. So when I think of Randall McDaniel, I think the black visor, number 64, he was a big
with the long mask.
Oh, hell yeah.
I wore the 6 square, and then he wore the longer extension one.
Yep.
So Randall McDaniel is a Hall of Famer. 14 seasons. He made 12 Pro Bowls, 7-time All-Pro.
There you go. Right there. Now there's a lot of other great ones, but that guy right there, and then the best center I ever played against outside of Kent Hall, but I didn't really get to play against him because you didn't go game speed in practice, was Dermonte Dawson.
There you go. Former
Steeler.
Yep.
Help you.
Heck yeah.
Bill Belichick has 8 Super Bowls.
There you go.
8 Super Bowl rings.
There you go.
He won 8.
He's got 8 Super Bowl rings.
How many did he participate in?
Holy cow.
Maybe more. Right?
Right.
I mean, the guy is the GOAT, period.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then just a follow-up question with best offensive lineman. Was there an offensive line in general as a Denver Bronco or a Buffalo Bill where you guys knew that we're going to be in a fight for our life this game, and it does depend on us to determine how this outcome is?
I'll tell you a great story, and we'll end it on this one.
Okay, brother.
Super easy. The very last year I played football in 2000, we played the Baltimore Ravens in a playoff game when Shannon Sharp left the Broncos and went to the Ravens, and they won the Super Bowl that year. And the Ravens defense headed by Ray Lewis, was better than the '85 Bears. That was that season.
Yep.
But we remember Denver Broncos were not a big offensive D lineman. We're not big. We're big compared to normal people, but we're not big. This offensive line, my 11th year, my last game ever playing, with 2 6'8" tackles, 350 pounds. One of them was a guy named Jonathan Ogden, great school, UCLA. Okay, 3'8" electrical engineer, genius, yellow jacket, ran by me like a 53-foot truck on a highway doing 80 and blew me around. And I turned and looked at him and I said, if you earhole me, I'm going to kill you and your family. I have 7 minutes to go. I'm looking up at him like this because he's so much taller than me. And I was scared. Not scared, but I was like, I'm puckered up here. Like the interior guys, the 2 guards in the center, 6'4", 3 1/4. Big white boy is a center, just farm, could take a bale of hay and probably throw it over your house.
Yep.
Like I was like, I saw him rag down Keith Traylor, that 305, and Keith Traylor was a beast. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Like I called my mom. I was over. I retired right there. I was done. I was like, I can't. I wasn't damaged. I played 11 years. I played 6 Super Bowls. What else am I going to do? And I knew I was done anyway. Not only because of that, but the next year, if I played a full year as a 12-year veteran, they would have had to pay me like $950,000 was the minimum salary. They're not going to pay me that when I'm getting a sack a year and 30 tackles. You know, that's not good. Economically, I was done, and I was too small anyway. I was done.
So that 2000 Baltimore Ravens offense. I remember Trent Dilfer was the quarterback. That's
Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer.
That's what I say every time they talk about quarterbacks winning Super Bowls.
Like Lodish, right? They don't know me. Like he was that kind of player, and he's a starting quarterback, right? So he wasn't a Jim Kelly or Elway or Montana or any of these studs today. You know what I mean? So
great stories. Yes. So on that, Lodi, we're going to wrap it up. We do like to finalize things with a final thought. Jared, I'll give you the mic real quick. Give us your final thought for the day, and tell people where they can find 24/7 Buff Pandemonium and the K-Gun Report.
Yep. It was a great day. I loved all the stories. Can't wait to have you on again, Mike. Or if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. Just let us know.
I love talking to you guys.
Great. Yes, we love hearing all the stories, and it just brings back all the good memories.
Right?
What's that?
Hear the story. It's for the fans. It's for you guys, the Bills Mafia. It's for everybody. If you want to ask me something, I just happen to be one of there are 23 of us that went to 4 Super Bowls in a row, something like that, 25 or something, I think. And I don't want anything for it. I just enjoy sharing because when I see your faces and I see the joy that it brings you, that's the gift for me.
I appreciate it for sure.
Yep, and we'll be back next week. Talk more football. Lodi, thanks for coming on again. And until next time, brother.
Thanks a lot. Bills Mafia. All hail the Bills Mafia. And I have it right here, so don't worry.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. Guys, a sponsor raid, as Otis and Lisa Dirty Jacks, right in the middle of Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York. 2 local favorites are bringing people together. At Otis and Lisa's, it's all about flavor. Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road, right around the corner, you step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout. Cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. They have a local beer called Bigfoot Piss. Actually, it's past 9 o'clock. I could say that. Owned by Andy and Lisa Mattoon. It's more than a great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps and the Finger Lakes every day. Come for the food, stay for the people, be part of something special. They are something special. Support the local sports at the Mid Lakes High School. It's a wonderful thing that they all support. We are live every Tuesday at 8:30. Swank will be coming back with us next week, guys. Looking forward to that. We'll talk more Bills football in the offseason. Topics to be determined. Rager, September 15th. We do a fundraiser every year for Mark Maddox's Help One Foundation. This year it's September 5th. I said 15th, 5th. At Reinvention Brewing, as it always is. Details to come. And Lodi, again, thanks for joining us. I know you said you didn't pay attention to the draft and all this stuff, but we love having you on because of the life experience in the NFL and personally that you bring to the table. And we grow organically. We grow through the communication and the relationships that we develop with guys like you, man. It's awesome. Thanks for taking the time. We love having you on. And until next time, Bills Mafia, Lodi, and Jared, cheers and go.
Cheers,
Bills.
everybody, and thank you very much. And I'm trying to make the home opener, so
Nice.
I hope they'll get me. I'm in the lottery now for alumni to get tickets. So,
I'm buying lottery tickets.
I did mention that his name is Curtis Hemingway. He handles the alumni. And I said, Curtis, I'm one of the 25 guys that played in 4. Okay.
Just so you know.
Just as a small reminder, I'm using anything I can to get tickets.
You gotta.
I'll see you guys. Thank you very much. It's great
Go
to
Bills.
see you.
Thanks,
Bills Mafia, I love you all. Thank you for the commitments that you've given to us as a player. And you guys are the reason why we go on the field. So thank you.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Bills.
Yeah.
A broken man without a path, a vagrant aimless without a mouth. Took 2 long breaths and just one more till my lungs couldn't hold another. For you and me. And those baby blues. God was baby blue. Those baby blues. God was baby blue. A broken man without a path, a vagrant aimless without a mouth. Some kisses your cheek and then grazes your neck, makes my lips so damn jealous. For you and me. And those baby blues. Yeah, those baby blues. Take my picture with you when you go out west. Those baby blues. If you love me, then just say it with your chest. Those baby blues. Now, don't forget about me, yeah. I will do my best. Those baby blues. Yeah, that's true for me and you. Take my picture with you when you go out west. If you love me, then just say it with your chest. But don't forget about me, yeah. I will do my best, and that's the truth for me and you. And those baby blues.